I'm just curious. You were in market. You stayed in Brooklyn this whole time, or most of this whole time. Is that right?
Yeah, I stayed in Brooklyn the whole time. I didn't go home.
Okay. What was your? I mean, considering I guess how bad COVID was in Brooklyn during the earlier stages of this pandemic, what was the thought process in staying in Brooklyn? And a follow up is that Jacques had mentioned when I asked. I said, who were some of the guys that did you notice a difference in the guys that stayed in market and the guys that went home conditioning wise? And he said, yeah, the guys that stayed in market had a glaring edge conditioning wise, and maybe they're a step ahead. And he cited you as an example of that. Was that part of your thinking, or was it more just a quarantine issue?
No, of course, I had an opportunity to go home because MBPA was contacting me for a chance to go home, but I decided to stay home, to stay in Brooklyn and just try to get better as much as possible. You know, trying to gain weight, trying to get stronger. You know, home. And then when the practice facility was open, I was the first in the gym. You know, trying to get Jacques just attention to get him to know that I'm ready for the whatever.
And how much of a, I guess then the obvious question is, obviously you'd prefer everybody on the team be healthy and available, but how much of an opportunity do you see this restart being for you to kind of stake your claim to getting some more minutes?
To be honest, I'm in a good mental health right now. I'm in a good conditioning wise. So I'm ready for whatever. I said I won't say anything like and to be mispronounced and misunderstand. But I think that I'm capable of getting some minutes, and I'm gonna be ready.
Thank you.
No problem.
Shannon, this is Greg. I just wanted to ask you, what has it been like to be together with all your teammates, even though you're just doing individual workouts now? You know, what has that atmosphere been like for you?
Everyone has the same goal, you know, just to prepare themselves as much as possible during this time, quarantine and everything. You know, I'm just happy that I see everybody working out, even though it's individual practices. We have only one basket per player, but you see the will, you see the fight to get better, you know, and that's something that's motivating me from day to day for me to get better too.
And has there been much conversation about the social movements taking place in this country now over Black Lives Matter and police brutality and that sort of thing? Have you paid attention to that?
Of course, it's just terrible from my perspective. You know, first of all, I'm not from America, and to see that brutality happens, it just hurts my heart a lot. And I'm with that. I'm with that Black Lives Matter all day. So I think I'm gonna change my jersey too. In Orlando, it'll be equality and peace. So I think like it will be some kind of message to that policy.
That's great. And just finally, when you compare the response in this country to the response in Europe to the disease, how shocking is it to you that in America, where we've led the way in the past in the world, that the response has been so bad?
I don't know. I think especially in New York, there's a lot of people working. A lot of people didn't pay attention at the beginning for COVID, of course. In my country, especially, we closed the country right away because we didn't have that luxury to get it open. And then if we got too many diseases, we couldn't handle it. So I think in my country, we didn't have that luxury, but I think the New York and America is gonna get back to their feet soon.
Thanks very much, Shannon.
No problem.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Shannon, it's Tom. How are you? It's great to see you.
I don't, Tom.
Just want to ask you, you know, from earlier in the season when you had an opportunity in the rotation, what did you take from that experience, you know, for good and for bad, that you can apply to kind of an opportunity that may present itself for you coming up in Orlando?
Nothing. I think my best games were not overthinking. You know, I was just coming out there and do my thing. You know, play as hard as I can. Didn't think about scoring. Didn't think about like doing some crazy plays. And then in the bad games, I was thinking too much. You know, I was trying to impress everybody. I was trying to do too many things. So I think that I matured a lot from that point, from let's say February to now, just to realize what's my role in the team. You know, to give the energy, to make the right plays, and just to help my team win. You know, not think about individual stats too much.
And when it comes to being in Orlando, just from the playing experience that's coming up, no fans in the stands, you know, and they'll do some different things to just try and give it a better environment. Do you have any sense of what that's going to be like to just kind of play in that very unique environment?
To be honest, it's gonna be a little bit strange, especially without fans. But I think we're all professional basketball players. We're paid to play basketball. We love this game. So just for me personally, just give me the ball, put me on the court, and I'll play whatever.
Cool. Thanks, Dzanan.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, John, it's Alex. Hope you're well. I was just curious with you guys going to Orlando tomorrow, just what your level of concern is going down there with the spike in COVID cases they have.
It's a strange topic, of course. It's concern of all of us, but I think if we start to think too much about the COVID and release our minds from the basketball, it's going to be bad. So us as a team, we're thinking all about basketball. You know, we're not thinking about COVID. We're thinking about getting better. We're thinking about just present ourselves in the best way in Orlando.
And then just with you being in New York the whole time, I guess, what else did you do to keep yourself busy? Did you go through any shows or pick up any books or anything? Or what did you do outside of basketball to keep yourself occupied?
Yeah, a lot of documentaries on Netflix. But my priority was just to gain weight, just to get better. You know, and I kept my focus on basketball this whole time.
Yeah, just curious, what were some of the documentaries? You getting a Tiger King or any of that?
Tiger King is a strange topic to talk about, but yeah, I watched it, and I don't know what kind of opinion I have about it. It's a little bit strange. You have a lot of crazy people over there.
Well said. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
John, how's it going? It's Christian.
How you doing, Christian?
Number one, I guess, how is everybody? How's your family? Everybody's holding up pretty okay?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're back home. They're healthy. Thank God. Thank you for asking.
Good. Just curious, did you learn anything from your teammates or just living in New York City, given everything that's happened in the aftermath of George Floyd's death and whatnot? Did you learn anything from the conversations that guys are having throughout the team?
Yeah, I learned a lot, especially from, let's say, Garrett Temple and Joe Harris. We were talking about a lot of just situation. How was it before? Because I'm here for 2 years. I don't know what was the stage like before. And they were kind of navigating me through all the situation, and I'm just terrified for this situation. You know, I'm as I said, my heart hurts when I heard those things, and it's really really crazy.
Did you have a reference point back home? Have you ever seen anything like this happen back home, or do you guys have like police brutality like this in any way, shape, or form, or was this all kind of new to you? Never.
We had, especially in Croatia, I was playing, and it was like every season we had like 5-6 American guys. We had and we respected them more than we respected each other. Trust me, because we didn't want them to feel like they're different from us and stuff like that. And you know, it's just sad.
Yeah, and lastly, when you look at the bubble and you kind of see, well, I guess you look at your schedule, you see Orlando, you see Washington, right, trying to creep up. What do you guys need to do to kind of like protect your standing as a playoff team and really like hold down that 7th seed?
Nothing. I'm pretty confident in our team. I think that we have a quality to keep up with that 7th seed. I think the first game will be a lot important for us, especially we're playing in Orlando. They're not traveling too much. They're right there, so they're kind of in their environment. But we will attack them, and I hope that we will present ourselves in the best way and then get that 7th seed.
Got it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up, sir? It's Matt with the book. Hope you've been getting some good time with your lady over the break. I was hoping you could kind of take us through that first day back at the facility when everything kind of opened up at HSS, just like walking in the front door and into the gym, gloves, masks. How bizarre was that and surreal just being back at your kind of happy place after so much time away?
Yeah, it was a little bizarre, but if you will not put in it that way, in that perspective, I think the Brooklyn Nets staff and organization did a hell of a job just to keep us safe, just to keep up with us. Like whenever someone is not wearing the gloves, they're like suggesting we should put the gloves on, mask on. So it was more like family wise, you know. We did a good job. We did a pretty good job, and we got used to it pretty quickly.
That same day that the facility opened up, I believe, was the day that the George Floyd video was starting to go viral. Do you remember if you first saw it at the facility or if guys were talking about it that day?
No, my girlfriend called me and she was crying because of that. She's very emotional about it, and she was telling me like, "Did you saw what happened with it?" And I wasn't, because I was in a practice. I'm not too much in social media in the last like 3-4 months. I'm trying to stay out of it. But when I saw it, it was horrifying.
And last thing, have you been involved just being around the team with discussions about what statements guys might make as a team, as a league, down when play begins, kind of on camera, beyond stuff on the backs of jerseys?
We didn't talk about details except for those statements on our jerseys. But I think like it will be a lot of statements during Orlando time.
Cool, man. Safe travels.
Okay, thank you.